Alright guys, Fuller coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDVC. So in this video, man, I'm gonna get a little bit political because just something's been bothering me for the last couple of days. And that's the United States foreign policy when it comes to dealing with things of conflict, and how selective it is in dealing with things of conflict, as long as that thing is going to benefit them financially, materially, strategically, or politically, and not benefit the actual masses of the places that they usually intervene in the long term. And this is occurring right now with Sudan. You know, Sudan is up in flames right now, and Sudan is going through a very much of a upheaval right now. And you know, the masses are speaking, the masses have demands, and you know, Sudan is very geopolitically in a strategic place in Africa, because you know, Sudan is basically what you would say is the crossroads between like the Black Africa and the Middle Eastern element, you know. And you know, basically there's people who are being killed over there, there's people who are being raped over there, and you know, you hear nothing from the United States in wanting to assist over there. You know, a while back, the United States thought it was necessary to intervene in Sudan when there was the conflict in Darfur. Now, granted, the United States unfortunately painted propaganda that these the Arab militias were killing the Black Africans there, you know, and that also the Arab militias were enslaving the Black Africans as well. Now, first and foremost, about Sudan, because I've interacted with a lot of Sudanese. In fact, one of my teachers in jurisprudence is Sudanese. Sudanese, and I've heard this out of a Sudanese's mouth. Sudanese is an African country. Okay, let's not get it twisted. It's an African country. Sudan is basically just Arabic speaking, but there's other languages in Sudan. But for the majority, it's Arabic speaking, and they have a culture which is a blend of Arab and African, basically. You can't just say that these people are just straight up Arabic and this, that, and the other. No, you cannot say that. That would be inaccurate to say. Second of all, the reason why the United States was so concerned in Darfur is for the simple fact that there was large oil and natural resource revenues to be had, so they can like be involved and do all these concerts and this, that, and the other to make it look like they genuinely care about Sudan, you know. But the reality is they just cared about what Sudan has. And it's the same thing with Libya. You know, they act like they were concerned calling Gaddafi a dictator, this, that, and the other. And they were only concerned with what Libya had, which was oil, which was gold, which was natural resources. And the sad thing about it is, you look at both places right now, you look at Sudan, you look at Libya, and those places are up in shambles. What do you hear from Washington? You don't hear a darn thing. It's just basically like a cheap prostitute. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Once you get what you needed out of it, you know. But then when there is a crisis, when there is actually a humanitarian crisis, when there is actually a need for some kind of assistance or some kind of like help or something, nothing's being done, you know. And that's the sad thing about it. And it's the same thing, and also to blame too is other African nations too. Other African nations should be involved in this matter. You know, they should not let it slide the way it's sliding. Other nations have to get involved. Other nations have to look out for its brother, basically. And then you have another element, which is a messed up element in this whole thing, and that's Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is actually pushing the military to do some of the atrocities it's doing over there in Sudan. You know, unfortunately, Saudi Arabia has a hand in this because it too wants the resources of Sudan. It too wants to have a political influence over in Sudan. And that's just the reality of it. Now, I really don't know what's going to happen, but all I do know is from what I've seen, it's not a good situation. The militias, the so-called quote unquote Arab militias, the Janjaweed, they are the ones wreaking havoc, you know. And the thing is, Thomas Sankara says something very profound, that, you know, basically it was to the effect that if a soldier is untrained and not disciplined, then that is a potential criminal. And that's what we see going on over there in Sudan, you know. And I just hope, and my prayers are with the people of Sudan, and my heart and my solidarity and my support is with the people of Sudan. The reason why it's with the people of Sudan is, number one, I have many Sudanese friends, and it's been nothing but great interactions in which I have had with those friends of mine. Number two, my long lost brothers are over in Sudan, or I should say my long lost cousins, due to the simple fact that when the French and the British came to West Africa, a lot of Fulani, which is my tribe, but it's called Falata, a lot of Falata went to Sudan and settled, you know, because they were making migration towards the east, towards Mecca. And for whatever reason, they didn't get there, so they just settled in Sudan. So I have, I guess you can say, extended kinfolk by tribe in Sudan, because, as I said before, Falata from Nigeria, Falata from Senegal, Falata from Mali, Falata from Burkina Faso ended up settling in Sudan, you know. And it's just my hope that this country can find some peace, man. It's my hope that, you know, since the United States is not, seemingly not going to help, because it decides on who when to meddle in different conflicts, that the Sudanese are able to, find a solution themselves, and that's the sad thing about it. It's just the double standards and things like that. Like, I mean, honestly, with the American foreign policy, if they really desire peace and things like that, and if they really desire nations to be free, sovereign, progressive, and stuff like that, then they wouldn't like cause these conflicts or trigger something that will cause these conflicts, basically. And that's what they usually do. Now you have a big old power vacuum with the military and the civilians in Sudan. The civilians going on strike now and things like that. That's the thing you have to ask yourself. The United States was so quick to get involved in the whole Darfur conflict, so quick to get involved in toppling Gaddafi. Now where are they? Typical of them. They don't like finishing what they started when it comes to foreign policy, because I'm pretty sure they already got the resources they needed from these places. So human life is a afterthought for them. But let me stop ranting. Let me get some rest right now. I just felt the need to make this video. But this is Fuller signing out. Njad Rama.